Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
Gets the Bayou Splash for LSU football. Huge recruiting weekend. Here to detail all of it is Preston Guy from TigerBait.com. Preston, how are you?
Good. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'll tell you what. It's going to pick up in about an hour, 15 minutes.
That is correct. When was your last cannonball? I don't know if I've done a cannonball in a decade.
You know, look, Hunt, I go for the more advanced stuff.
Okay.
I can do flips off the diving board, and if I'm doing a diving board, I'm going to do the flip because it's fun seeing a big guy do that.
Okay.
I'm not going for the cannonball. It's too juvenile.
You're a showman. I understand. You got to give the people what they want. All right, let's talk about this weekend in recruiting. I think the biggest name that many are following because an announcement date was just set is Jonah Williams, the five-star safety from Galveston. Your thoughts on where LSU stands with Jonah Williams?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I've got a good gut feeling about this, much more so than I did a few weeks ago. I think Texas A&M was the school to beat. Not saying they actually aren't still, but I really think LSU's combined prestige as a football program and baseball program puts them in a really good spot for Jonah Williams. I'm hearing he is every bit of a valued prospect in baseball as he is in football. He's a 94 lefty, so apparently those guys don't grow on trees. So highly valued prospect. LSU's going to have to put full court press on him, and it's not just LSU coaches who've been recruiting him, by the way. The players like Bryce Underwood, Damian Shanklin, these guys are really pushing hard for him. And the good news is a lot of those commits are going to be on campus this weekend. And one of the things they do intentionally is they bring a bunch of, highly touted committed players on board so that the guys can get a feel for, how they belong.
Yeah, no doubt. You look at guys like Keelan Moses is obviously here, but Carius Curran came down from Arkansas. You got Brandon Brown in from Florida as well. Harlem Berry up from New Orleans. So really good environment for some of these uncommitted players to hang out in. One of the guys that kind of all eyes have been on since DeCorian Moore decided to decommit and then committed up to Oregon has been Jaime Ffrench, the five-star from Jacksonville. Feel decent about where LSU stands there, or still a long way to go?
I feel like LSU has a very legitimate case. Does LSU end up finishing the job and doing it? I don't know. I'm looking forward to talking with him and his mother soon to kind of get a better vibe of where he's going. Right now, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe it could be LSU. Maybe it's elsewhere. We'll see. I'm interested to see how he feels about
Hold on. Let's try to reconnect with Preston. Preston, we kind of dropped you there. I think the whole call just dropped there. So he's talking about Jaime Ffrench, and this is a guy that I think a lot of LSU fans have shifted their attention to since DeCorian Moore decided that he was not going to be in this class. For the longest time, it was, okay, LSU's got the number one quarterback, Bryce Underwood, number one running back, Harlem Berry, number one wide receiver, DeCorian Moore. That's kind of the trio in this class, and then DeCorian Moore defected. And you still had Teron Francis, who they felt really good about from in-state, and you're kind of looking at who's the big fish maybe from outside the state that LSU could reel in. And I think that the thought was that Jaime Ffrench probably would fit that mold if they could finish the job. Texas still very much in the mix, and you'll kind of look at some other schools that are involved there. Preston, we're getting your thoughts on Jaime Ffrench.
Yeah, no, I think it's up in the air right now. I don't think LSU's got that locked in or anything like that, but LSU's got a really good chance. He continues to engage, continues to make visits. It's one of those things of listen to what I do, not what I say. I mean, you've probably heard that 1,000 times in recruiting. And if what he does is indicative, you got to feel pretty good. I am looking forward to talking to him and his mother after this visit to kind of see how they feel about Derek Meadows being a part of this class. He wouldn't be the only, five-star caliber receiver on this roster if he were to join. And some receivers, there's plenty of spots on the field. They're like, oh, yeah, they're great. We'll make a great 1-2 punch. Some guys, they want to be the star. A receiver is a position you can do that. It's not like quarterback where once you get one star player, that's it. You're not getting another quarterback in this class. You got Bryce Underwood. That's that. So I'm interested to hear his perspective on that.
Defensive back, specifically cornerback, has been a point of emphasis here. DJ Pickett was obviously a monster get for Corey Raymond in this class. You're kind of looking elsewhere and look at Jabari Antoine, potentially not going to end up at LSU. Still going to recruit him, but we'll see what happens. But they're having Aiden Anding from Ruston on campus for the Bayou Splash this weekend. Is that a guy that you think that LSU could end up with in this class?
It's definitely a guy that should end up in this class. You're talking about a home state kid, quality player. It's a very attainable player. You're fighting for guys like Texas and Miami, but you're not having to fight off the Georgias and Alabamas as well. I think this is a very attainable guy for LSU, and I think it'd be a good quality fill in there. I mean, obviously DJ Pickett answers a lot of questions, but you do need more than one corner. So, while they have a ton of safeties on campus. They got Anquan Fagan and they have Jonah Williams, who we just talked about. Corner, Aiden Anding. I'm trying to remember. I think he's the only uncommitted corner at the Bayou Splash this weekend. So you really like to bring him in.
If you're looking for a list of visitors here this weekend at Bayou Splash, TigerBait.com's got them all there for you. 2026, not a class that they're maybe emphasizing this weekend, more 2025 prospects on campus, but there are some 2026 guys here, including Jakeem Stewart, who many have as the number one player in the class entering his junior year of high school. He could graduate early a year and reclassify, but more importantly, where's he going to end up, and how good a chance do you think LSU has on the big guy from St. Aug?
Yeah, I mean, LSU's got connections with his coach. New Orleans, same high school as Tyrann Mathieu and Leonard Fournette. If you got to get this guy, you got to roll out the red carpet and you got to do whatever. Not to mention, he plays defensive line, which is a position you need to restock over the next couple of years. If you don't land this guy, there's a reason you invest in Kevin Peoples and Bo Davis on the defensive line. It's to bring in guys like this. If LSU misses him, something's got to give. You bring him in. You do not miss the number one player in the country from New Orleans at a position of need where you've just invested millions into upgrading your position coaches. To get him, man, huge deal. Also in the 2026 class is coming an interesting guy, 5-star receiver Chris Henry Jr., who's an Ohio State commitment. He's, of course, the son of NFL Bengals receiver and West Virginia receiver Chris Henry. It'd be a big one to pull. It's a big deal that he's on campus. I'll put it like that.
We'll see if any news breaks over the weekend. You can certainly find it over at Tiger Bait Press. And this is technically our last off-season conversation. LSU opens fall camp 6 days from today on Thursday of next week, August 1st. So where do your eyes immediately go when you're able to get out to camp?
Defensive line, and then quickly afterwards, the defensive staff. I think those are the two position groups. If you get those in line, I think you can have a pretty good team that's got a championship push in them. Why I go straight to them? Well, because in spring, my eyes went straight to them, and they didn't have it together. They got school. All Nussmeier made them look silly. So I think the offense, there's not a position group I don't feel confident about. And even linebacker. I feel like this can be a very good linebacking core with Harold Perkins. What we call it's all about those two groups, man. If those two don't have it put together, the linebackers aren't going to be able to do anything. Because linebackers, they rely on cleaning up after the defensive line has hogged up all those blocks. And if you can't cover anybody, you're going to, give up a lot of yardage. And that's what we saw last year. If those two groups can just be serviceable, watch out, this could be a special team.
We'll see you out there next week, Preston. Thanks, man.
All right, see you, Hunt.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, LSU beat reporter covering the team as well as recruiting. Big weekend. Bayou Splash in Baton Rouge this weekend. And I don't know if anybody's expecting any verbal public commits this weekend, but just kind of a last chance before the dead period starts for LSU to make a big impressive on some monster names that are on campus and in town this weekend. So we'll keep you up to date with that as anything happens, and we'll certainly talk about it next week.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.